doing an event, a campus-wide event called Tent City, and basically it is a way to promote spread the awareness of homelessness and the impact it has on everybody, not just certain people. Is actually inspired by this notion of homeless people living in their tents instead of living in cardboard boxes and things of that nature. And it's actually like a phenomenon that's going on around the country. So basically that's what we're trying to mimic in a sense, basically to hit home that homelessness is extremely prevalent.
Some people say there's a housing crisis, but there's no housing crisis in this country. There's 3 times more houses than there are homeless people.
What does the tents do? It assimilates what I've been through personally, and a lot of my colleagues, friends, buddies, probably of mine, and maybe some of them of yours, are doing in our streets all across Monroe County. I'm going to limit it to here, Rochester. We're going to get to that. Rochester has a huge, humongous homeless population, humongous. And with these budget cuts coming out, being produced, they're going to be even more down the road. So for any of you guys to empathize with us pertaining to this, it's a beautiful thing.
We're raising awareness for homeless people, and actually this is an issue that concerns all of us, and so we just want to let people know about what's going on in Rochester and in Monroe County particularly. There's about 8,000 homeless people in Monroe County. And it's an issue that actually can, get to any of us. If ever we get to lose our jobs today, and tomorrow we may become homeless. So it's something we want actually people to remove that idea that homeless people are bad people. They're hurt people, or they're just out there doing wrong things. Actually, it's a problem that can get to any of us. So that's why we are here as students, and just raising awareness, and also collecting some money for House of Mercy.
Around 14 people are staying tonight, and it is actually going to be lasting till 4 o'clock tomorrow.
We out here for the homeless people. A lot of people probably think that they're really, what's the point? They're helpless, hopeless, they ain't gonna turn it around. Well, I'm here to tell you that I was homeless. This place that we out here raising the money for, the House of Mercy, I used to live in there. On the better days, I was able to stay there. On my worst day, let me back it up. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I got a associate's degree in trouble. I went to Attica and got my master's degree. I done been through it all. I'm not just somebody up here read some books or something. I fell through the system. I didn't graduate at high school. I got a GED in Comstock. I'm out here advocating for the House of Mercy because I'm not trying to badger the other places, but I'm just going to keep it real with you. It's the only one that really caters to the real. It's not about money or business. If you donate a sock to the House of Mercy is going to in turn give that sock to someone. Every place else, I mean every place else, Salvation Army, all of them, they're going to put it in their thrift store and sell it. A homeless person can't afford anything. And they're raising the prices in these stores. This place, they never turn anybody down. The House of Mercy is probably supposed to house a maximum of 30. If necessary, they've had 70 to 80 people. Ain't nobody gonna freeze to death as a result of getting turned away from the House of Mercy. If they have an earthquake in Shaka Zulu land or anywhere else, we just pouring out money, man. When there's a crisis right here, there's a crisis going on, and I know everybody here knows somebody that's homeless. You might not know the people that I know that are homeless, but your cousin just been living with you for 6 months. He homeless. He need a home. It was a homeless bus what turned my life around. Maybe 6, 7 years ago, they had a bus for the homeless people because all the places were getting filled up because there's so many homeless people. You could go on this bus and spend the night there. They would have coffee, and then they had this nice lady named Mary used to bring food there. So I started volunteering. I said, I need to do something to keep me from going back to Attica. I was on parole. So I started volunteering, helping out there, and eating that lady Mary's food. I ended up marrying her. She was a volunteer. Yeah, she was a volunteer. I've been giving back, not because I'm some great giver, because it makes me feel good.
One thing I say about homelessness is that it's more than just sleeping out. It's the day-to-day wear and tear. Right? You say, well, look, I'll sleep out in this tent, but tomorrow I'll go in, brush my teeth, comb my hair, and stuff like that. People who live day-to-day on homelessness don't have that luxury. You know, I ride around with people and say, well, do you see this? Do you see that? And they say, well, these people don't want a home. I said, why do you say that? They say, well, look at them. I said, well, they look like that is because they don't have a home. We end up with our backpacks, we end up with our unshaven, we end up not having a place to change and things like this. So, like I'm saying, for you guys to be out here to show some empathy, it's a beautiful thing. When winter's receding. When winter recedes, this is what happens. It says, well, the weather's getting nice now. I'm saying, like, so what does that mean? Well, it's not so harsh on the homeless. It's not so harsh on the homeless. So what are you saying now? Since it's 70 degrees, it's all right to sleep on a park bench? Since it's 70 degrees, is what? It's easier now to find warm shelter? We're saying housing is human right.
As Hubert said, take back the land. Our principles are, we believe that housing is a human right, and we believe that we should have community control over land and housing. So land shouldn't be a commodity controlled by the banks, but actually should be controlled by the people who live on the land and by the community. So we're trying to match up people's homes with homeless people. Now the other aspect is that we have a massive foreclosure crisis. Just in the last 3 years, over 10 million people have been displaced from foreclosures. That's more people that are typically displaced in large-scale warfare.
I just recently did a paper on homelessness. It's like our semester project, and just it's very eye-opening. You don't expect to see such high numbers, and you expect everyone to just have somewhere to live, and it's unfortunately not the case.
Well, being a social worker, you feel that it's very important, but I went to the House of Mercy last semester for my class, and seeing it firsthand really brought to the table how prevalent it really is.
Just be aware that we are all one paycheck away from being homeless. No one is special, no one is chosen for one life. Circumstances happen, and we have to basically not only open our hearts to those who are homeless, but basically open our minds to know that, or enough to know that homelessness can affect everyone.
A lonely man and his wife with the child ain't got no